I really see, along with big industry, small businesses, family farms as being fundamental to some of the best parts of a truly thriving economy. It's where innovation happens. It's where community happens. It's where new things are built. It's where we find the next thing. Well, we've had a 25-year collapse in the small business economy in this country. If you look at what real small businesses are, they can't survive. I talked to a woman the other day who's shutting down her diner who said to me, don't forget the mamas and the papas. The mamas and the papas aren't getting the cash handout. She said, I started my diner to so people could get a cup of coffee near Amelia, and right now all the big guys, she said, are coming in and they've got the cash and they've got the handouts, and if we keep going this way, everything's going to look the same and we can't compete. Now she's right. She's right on the facts, because guess who gets corporate subsidies? It's not the Metro Diner. In fact, 75% of all corporate subsidies, 75%, are going to less than 1,000 companies. Just think of 1,000 companies in the Kingston area alone that aren't getting that. So it's a handful of big monopolists who are using their lobbying power to go in and get those subsidies, and the small companies and the small family farms are getting shut out. Now that isn't to say those big companies don't use the small companies as fronts. They'll march them in and say like 82% of small family farms now get some form of government subsidy. That doesn't mean they're actually getting the benefit. The reason they need those subsidies is because the overwhelming majority of cash, actual cash, is going to a handful of big ag companies. So we're using subsidies to compete against subsidies instead of creating real open playing fields. So what does this do to who we are? I think this is so important. I want to live in an economy where the farmer in Cooperstown wakes up in the morning and thinks, how do I get a ground source heat pump in so I can compete better? Not, what joke can I tell the congressman so he'll laugh so I can get some cash? Our corporate subsidy model as a way to do federal policy is turning us as citizens, as business owners, as members of our communities into beggars, into sycophants, into people asking for favors instead of innovating. And think about what that does to our communities. If two neighbors are competing against each other for who gets the favor from the congresswoman, that tears apart community. If they're competing against each other for who puts in the better ground source heat pump, that's great, everybody benefits. But when it's about power and bootlicking, that undermines who we are. Our country was built on the premise of we need to build a society where everyone has an equal voice and is not afraid to speak negatively about the king or the person in power. A core premise of that is that we are no fear, no favors. That's the core premise of American society. We had a revolution to reject the culture of bootlickers and flatterers. What I'm really concerned about is not the examples on the margins, but that as a whole, the way we are making, even good people with good ideas are choosing to make federal policy, is they're saying, if we give out enough cash, we can change policy, and that is turning us into a culture which supports bootlicking and flattery. So I urge you in this vote, for those of you who are uncertain, for those of you who might find little examples that make you question, to say this is actually a core question about who we are, about democracy, about corruption, and about our future, and to vote for the resolution. Thank you.